Storm Tracker weather starts now with Chief Forecaster Bob McGuire.
Oh, yeah, it's Friday, and I had the big sky. We're going to start off tonight with some smoke in that big sky. There's a picture from Loretta Groff earlier. She says, smoke from a distant fire. That's that one over there by Bozeman, I think, in the Bridger Mountains. But smoke from a distant fire, that sounds real familiar. That is a song from the 1970s by the Sanford Townsend Band. Yes, 1976. I was a jock in another lifetime ago. Anyway, let's move on and show you what's happening out here tonight. Here's another picture from Lynn Richardson. Says, this is the way the cows were feeding over there in the Bighorn Mountains earlier today, just before the sun was setting, so that was kind of a pretty shot as well. Meanwhile, this is what's happening in the Billings area. This was just as the sun was setting tonight. It just looked like Billings a little on the smoky side with that sunset, but right now, here's the way things are shaping up, and you'll notice we do have 76 degrees out there, and the winds are out of the southeast at about 9 miles per hour. Now, our high temperature today actually topped out at 87 degrees. 79 is your normal high, so we're a little bit above that. The record 100 back in 1950. 31 was the record low back in 1962, and as far as the sunset tonight, that happened at 7:45. Precipitation, nothing new to add to the totals. In fact, we haven't had any precipitation at all in the month of September, and here we are in the fourth day. It's time for some rain, maybe this weekend, but in the meantime, here's what we're looking at for the total year, 9.74. For the year, we're at 10.19 is what we need to be for the average, to be caught up to average to date. So we're just a little bit behind average right now, but maybe we'll catch up. Meantime, look at the fires from here in California. Look at all the smoke plumes going right up the west coast, going up into British Columbia, Alberta, then coming back down in towards Montana tonight. And so we're seeing some smoky conditions there, plus the local fires are adding to our smoke conditions across the region. And because of that, we still have some issues. We still have unhealthy smoke conditions and air quality over at Bernie and also at Broadus. In the Billings area, we are at moderate air quality right now because of the smoke in the air. But our current temperature is 60s out in the far west, 70s up there across the High Line, 60s back here to the northeast. Of course, here in Billings, we're at 76 degrees for one of the hot spots in the region, into the 60s in northern Wyoming. But our high temps today, look at all the 90s out here in the west. Those 90s there eventually want to work their way into the central part of the state, probably sometime tomorrow. Meanwhile, back up here, these are where we have some cooler temps, mostly into the 80s today. Now, as you'll see, the jet stream continues to kind of push its way just past Billings up in the northeast corner of the state. Any showers all seem to be going around Montana at this point in time. That's because we have this big old ridge of high pressure here. That ridge of high pressure is sending the air into the state from the southwest. And so what we have here is the warm air moving in here tonight. Then all of a sudden by tomorrow afternoon, that becomes a warm front moving in by Saturday morning on into Saturday evening. And that's when we'll really start cooking up, getting back into the upper 90s. Then still more heat as the rest of the day on Saturday goes here. But then that drops down Saturday night. We get some mild air moving in, then some reinforcing cold air on Sunday. And by the time Monday gets here, we're going to be looking at some very cold temperatures, only into the 50s for highs. Maybe some rain mixing with snow that night. How much precip are we talking about? Well, by the time Wednesday gets here, we're talking maybe a half an inch to 3/4 of an inch of rain for the Billings area. We'll see if that happens. But in the meantime, tonight we'll cool back down to the 50s across much of south central and eastern Montana, maybe 64 at Red Lodge. Tonight, 63 at Cody. Tomorrow, back to the 80s, 90s, and look at all the hundreds. Billings will be one of those hundreds. If we get at that, get 100 degrees tomorrow, it'll be the latest we've seen 100-degree temperatures this year, and also in any year. But tonight we're looking at clear skies, going down to 59 degrees in Billings. Then for tomorrow, back up to 100 degrees, 95 is the record, 84 on Sunday, 50 on Monday with a 90% chance of rain. Chance of rain and snow in the morning on Tuesday morning, back up to 52. 68 degrees on Wednesday, 76 Thursday, and back up to 82 on Friday. That's weather. Let's go back to Janelle.